how is your mindset, your approach, realizing my dream is possible, but.
We see at the end of the year. The minute nothing changes, I feel the same. So, yeah.
1 point difference with your teammate. Is it even not more complicated with Max behind?
No, it doesn't change anything.
I need a little bit more.
No, that's my answer to your question.
Come on.
It doesn't change anything.
Be creative, imaginative.
No thanks, I'm okay.
Back in top in the championship in this weekend with a racetrack like this that always brings good races. You have a spring weekend, rain expected. Would you rather have a crazy weekend in that sense or a regular one?
Just normal. I mean, yeah, but every time in Brazil it's always the same. So I think the expectation is be ready for anything, whether it's rain, dry, sunny, cold, whatever. So I don't mind. I don't mind what it is. I'm happy with everything, but of course it's just more simple for everyone when it's dry and I can try and repeat a weekend like I did last weekend. When it's raining, it's a little bit more luck involved and things, but that's all.
How have you got the car to be where you want it to be, that you can win by 30 seconds?
Just shout at my engineer until he does something right. I don't know. It's not just that. I guess it's a combination of both. It's a combination of me trying to be a better driver and adapting better to whatever the car may give me on a weekend. And two, I push the team as much as I can possibly do, but sometimes something you might want, you might not get for 2 years. Sometimes something you might want, you might be able to kind of push it in that direction the next time out. So it's complicated. There is not an easy answer to results. I think it's a timely process, but I guess work hard on myself and work hard with my team to figure out how to be better.
Good season. Thanks, Oscar. Thanks.
So, listening to you and the lessons that you have taken from the last races, could we say that the real Oscar will be back here? And is it more complicated or easier to be the hunter now?
I don't think the real Oscar has disappeared. I think it's just been a tough couple of weekends and, some lessons to learn along the way. I feel like the last couple of weekends I've been, happy within myself that I've tried to execute the best of what I've been able to do, and ultimately just trying to raise the performance of that has been the biggest thing. But I think in terms of the championship picture, it doesn't change a lot. Ultimately I go into every weekend trying to get the most out of myself and the most out of the car that I can, and that doesn't change whether I'm leading the championship or not. So I'll try my best to do that, and the points will be what they'll be.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Just picking up on that, actually, people might be tempted maybe looking at the points since Zandvoort, I guess, your diminishing points in Zandvoort, and maybe the Mexico performance. They might be tempted to count you out for the championship. What would you say to anyone like that?
People can think what they want to think, right? But for me, I know that, I've still got what it takes to win the championship. And yeah, there's been some bumps along the road, but there's been bumps along the road for everyone this year at different points. So I'm confident that I've learned a lot of helpful things from the last couple of weekends in particular. And I'm confident as well that I can still perform at some of the heights of the success we've had this year. So still a lot of laps to go this year, and I'm very confident I can still win.
How do you feel coming to this weekend? Like last year you had a great performance in the sprint, and after the recent struggles from the last races.
Excited to get back racing again. It was a weekend of kind of two halves last year. The sprint qualifying and the sprint race was obviously very strong, but the race not quite so much in the wet conditions. So it looks like we're going to get some weather around at some point. So I'm looking forward to whatever we get. I think the potential is good, and it's a track that I enjoy. So looking forward to getting on track tomorrow.
Hi, Max. Regarding your win last year and the recent performance of the RB21, can we expect something great from Max Verstappen this weekend?
We'll see. I mean, first of all, wait and see how the weather will evolve, of course, over the coming days. The last few races, I think, on average, have been very decent. But of course, if you want to win more, we need to be more competitive. So we'll see what we get.
Thank you.
You talked a few races ago, Max, about how much you were kind of enjoying it. Maybe at the point where it didn't look like you'd be in the title fight.
Hi, Max. Obviously, you were saying there about the need to be ahead for the remaining 4 weekends of this year. This being a sprint format and maybe a little nod to the weather forecast as well, again, based on what you did last year. Does that give you a sense that this could be a big opportunity for you, having a sprint format in play too?
Yeah, but in the rain, it's always very risky. It can work for you, it can work against you. Also, this season, I think in the wet, McLaren has been very, very strong to control the overheating, for example, on the intermediate tires. So it's not a given that if it rains, that suddenly, we will be the ones to beat. So we just wait and see. I'm not really too stressed about it. We'll just give everything we have. If that's enough, then we'll probably close up. But if not, then not. It's quite straightforward.
When a sprint weekend arrives, you are very reliable in terms of wins. Do you feel like this weekend it can be the key for the World Championship?
I think you're thinking a little bit too far ahead. For me, I just want to have a good weekend. Hopefully, we'll be competitive and we'll be able to challenge McLaren. But I don't know. I mean, for example, the weekend in Mexico, they were really, really strong. So we have to wait and see. I hope, of course, till the end of the season, we can still, fight for more wins. But it's impossible to know at the moment.
Hi, Lewis. Lovely to see you. Obviously, so many great memories for you at this track and with the people here in this country. Obviously, what happened last time out in Mexico, the penalty aside, it still feels like things are clicking. Does that give you hope that you can have a positive weekend out here?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've been going from strength to strength and making positive progress. So I'm excited. I love being in Brazil. I feel very much at home here. Get the best welcome here. So.
He said he would still rather have a situation like that for McLaren where they don't favour one driver and maybe they end up losing the championship to someone else. Do you appreciate that way of racing? Is it the right way to go racing, or do you think in their shoes they ought to maybe favour Piastri or Norris one over the other when Verstappen's there?
I mean, look, everyone's got their own viewpoint on it. I mean, I've had the experience of being in the team where you had 2 drivers fighting for a championship, and we went all the way to the last race, and ultimately we lost it to both of us lost it. So I don't think any of the fans really particularly care massively about a constructors championship. That's more like the team cares about those sorts of things, and then we care as drivers about that for the team. But people care about the drivers championship. So, but I mean, choosing a driver is very difficult, I would say. So fortunately, I'm not a team manager, so I don't have to worry about those decisions.
You had some great moments in your career here in Brazil, your first championship back in 2021, that historical win, and then the gesture that you remember, the Ayrton Senna's gesture with the Brazilian flag. Last year you drove Ayrton Senna's car. You are an honorable citizen of Brazil, and you had so much other moments that were important to you here.
Yeah.
Do you think this country, Brazil, is the most special for you throughout your F1 career, and how anxious are you to race here again?
Yeah, 100% it's the most special place I feel like I get to race in the year. And I think it's, of course, when I'm in the British Grand Prix is incredible, and I'm forever grateful for the amazing support that I have from my home people. But to be welcomed in another country where, if anything, I feel more at home because how diverse it is. And I always get asked if I'm Brazilian. Even before I got my citizenship, people would say I could pass for Brazilian. So, but I think it's the passion. I think it's the culture. It's very beautiful here, and the people are so lovely. And then this is the home of Ayrton Senna, so it's kind of like, it's a place I think I would love to spend some years here in the future. Whether or not that happens, maybe somewhere in Rio or something like that.
Good to see you. Still buzzing from that performance and result in Mexico last time out. How much confidence have you taken from that weekend?
Yeah, definitely very happy to deliver such a result for Haas. You know, P4 was a great weekend for us, and we were in need of some points, so really happy to have scored those. And that puts us, you know, in a decent position, I would say, heading into these final four to hopefully fight for some good championship positions too, in terms of the constructors.
Bringing it on to Interlagos, one of your substitute showings last year, a lot going on that weekend. What's your thinking this time out? Obviously the sprint format again, chance for more rain.
Yeah, seems like there's always a bit of rain chance here, but I got a lot of experience last year, of course. It was a messy race from my side, but it was my first time driving F1 in the wet, and I was pretty much thrown in at the deep end. That whole Sunday, you know, we did both quali and the race on Sunday, and it was one of the craziest days I've had in a racing car, honestly. To finish the race is a good thing. Of course, it was messy for myself, but I learned a lot, and I'm excited to see that
challenge of the sprint and hitting the ground running in that first practice session, of course.
Absolutely. There is only one chance to set up the car, and then you go straight into quali. This weekend, maybe on top of that, we have mixed conditions, so eventually you will just be on qualifying for the very first time on a wet track or a dry track and things like that. So yeah, I've been racing here for so many years. Hopefully that helps a little bit.
10 or 12 pounds more, you would have been 4-time world champion. That's crazy. Is it not a little bit frustrating when you think about that?
I think it's 5 points more. I will have 3 championships more. You know, this is part of the sport. You know, this is the beauty of the sport, and you know, I'm happy with 2 championships. You know, I never thought to be 2 times world champion. So you know, I take that, and I fulfill my dream. And you know, I still have the respect, I think, for many people here in the paddock and in the sport. So yeah, I feel that, and I keep pushing for another one.
So we wait for the next one. Okay.
Fernando, this year the midfield is incredibly tight. We've seen a lot of teams, last week it was Haas, that have their day in the sun. Is Aston Martin, are you due a day in the sun or maybe in the rain?
Yeah, I will love to have one of those weekends. As you said, always one midfield seems outstandingly good, and maybe we had that weekend in Budapest, to be honest, that we scored many points, and yeah, we would like to have another one of those in the remaining races, and Sao Paulo may be an opportunity for sure with the sprint format.
Hello, Fernando. So you won your first title here in Brazil, the second one here in Brazil too. So every time you come to Brazil, remember that time, what the best memories that come to your mind?
Yeah, definitely a very special place for me in my career. The 2 championships here, always very good circuit in terms of results. I think 9 podiums here in Interlagos. So yeah, happy place for me, and you know, the fans as well. Incredible. They had great champions here in Brazil, always with obviously Ayrton, but not only Ayrton, Nelson, Emerson. You know, a great history for the sport here. So it's a special weekend.
Zach Brown said, you know, if we have the 2 drivers and Max comes in and wins it, then we're fine with that. It seems like they haven't learned maybe from 2007. I know it was a different time then, but is this what happens when you have 2 equal drivers going for a championship?
Yeah, there is always the risk, but I don't think the scenario is exactly the same. You know, in 2007, I remember Ron in China saying that we were racing against Fernando. You know, our race was with Fernando, not with Kimi. So imagine that Zach says now our race was with Oscar, not with Max. So yeah, very different scenario.
Hi George, good to see you here in Brazil. Obviously it's quite a fight in terms of P2 in the team standings right now.
Yeah.
How much motivation does that serve, and how much are you hoping to gain this weekend in that fight?
Yeah, it's very close between the 3 of us, to be honest. Red Bull are just behind us. We're just behind Ferrari. We're just taking it race by race. It's too close to go into a race weekend with expectations, because the last few races it's been split by a tenth and a half. Can be the difference between P2 on the grid or P6, P7, and that's the difference between a podium or not. So, yeah, let's see.
Thanks, George.
I mean, yeah.
Hi, George. How does it feel to be back here where you won your first race? And should we expect a surprise moment from George Russell this weekend?
I always love coming back to Brazil. It's just a country and a circuit I've always loved coming to, and there's so many fans with such passion here, and of course winning my first race, it will always hold a special place in my heart.
Thank you.
George, last week was an adrenaline filled.
Yeah.
On the radio, a little bit testy. Have you analyzed with your team, with the other garage, what happened and how to avoid maybe some misunderstandings in moving forward?
Well, I think it was just slightly unfortunate how the race unfolded. I was obviously very angry after lap 1 because I didn't think what happened was fair at all for a number of drivers, especially Lewis being one. I thought it was extremely unfair what happened in terms of his race, but then that had a knock-on effect to me, and then I was in a position I shouldn't have been in the first place. So of course we analyse every single race, and you conclude after many races you could have done things better and differently. When you're in that moment, the adrenaline from my side, the adrenaline for the team, you're trying to be fair to both drivers. It's never straightforward to make a decision in the moment. It's always easy to say we should have done this. So the truth is, I just need to make sure I don't find myself in a position where that needs to be.
Hello UK, 4 races left. You have to try to secure your seat for the future, but also to try to help Max for the championship. Is a kind of double challenge for you?
Not really. I mean, I'm just only thinking about maximize the performance, and I think that will come naturally in both ways. Like if I'm able to maximize performance, naturally I'll be in a higher, grade, starting grade, in the qualifying close to Max, and that will naturally able to help Max in the strategy in the race. Also, you can say that also in my career as well. So what I have to focus in my performance. Extracting in every sessions and help the team as well to give some good feedback, to make some good progress for the setup throughout the weekend. So I only focus on that.
Thank you.
Juki, what could you say has been your biggest challenge adapting to the Red Bull car after so many years with the B Carb team?
Step in the middle of the season and jump into the complete new car. I think that's a natural challenge, I guess, and that's part of it. And I think that's it. And other than that, driving next to the world champion, especially is the best driver in the grid, and all the pressure what I'm having is always a little bit different to what I used to have, but something that I enjoy right now and able to learn a lot of things from him.
Speak quickly with the sprint format. Obviously the weather's been talked a lot about this weekend, and obviously we will remember what happened last year as well. In terms of your own preparation, how important is it for you to kind of build up into it, even though you've got that pressure of getting straight into it?
For sure. It's not easy. It's about finding the right balance. Of course, the weather can be very unpredictable. We saw it last year as well. So I think it's going to be important, to get up to speed quickly, but still trying to make as much learning as possible, because obviously we don't know the weather how it's going to be, and we got to be ready for any conditions.
You seem back on more confident and better form at the moment. You had a little difficult spell. Is it almost better to have been able to come through a difficult spell, because you know that if one comes up in the future, you'll have the ability to deal with it?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's this year has been a massive learning so far. I think also being straight in a top team, dealing with extra pressure, and as well having to go through a really difficult period really shaped me, not only as a driver but also as a person. I think is a massive learning, and I'm really happy that I've done it already, because if hopefully it doesn't happen the same, but in the future I will be much more ready to this kind of situation, and definitely I will be able to deal with it much better. So I think it's been, despite I've not enjoyed the difficult period, not gonna lie, I'm happy that I'm coming out of it, and obviously it's very satisfying, but we still have 4 races to prove ourselves, and to really show what we're capable of.
So Andrea, as a driver, I would like to understand where are the difference on the track with George, very experienced driver and fast, where you miss this speed or this time?
I think where I think in terms of raw speed, George is very quick, but I think we're very close. Is able to put things together, especially when it matters. Of course, with experience, it helps, but also you see he's a bit more relaxed while driving the car. He's a bit more in control of the situation, and I think that is what making the difference. I think, in some occasion, I can be faster than him, but he's just able to really put the things together, and that has been the main difference at the moment. But it's been good to be alongside him so far, and I've learned a lot from him.
So, Nico, great to see you. A shame with what happened in Mexico last time out, of course, but are you all clear with what went wrong there, and I guess itching to get back in the car this weekend?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think team looked into it, obviously what was wrong, but yeah, missed opportunity for sure there. It was obviously a bit unfortunate because we definitely had some race pace on Sunday, but it's in the past. Obviously looking ahead to this one, sprint weekend, so busy one ahead of us, home Grand Prix for Gabi, so obviously interesting, intense weekend for us, but one of my favorites, very old school, iconic place, so look forward to get started tomorrow.
We touched on the sprint there, Austin and the last sprint weekend still fresh in the memory, the brilliant P4 in sprint qualifying there. Just more generally, how much do you think you've learned from your time at Alpine this season, back in a race seat? What are the key takeaways for you?
We learned a lot. I think together with my engineers and the people helping me and pushing me forward, they have been super helpful. They have been very supportive, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity I've got, but also for the help and the push I had from them. I started the year struggling with the car. It became quite a difficult car after kind of Imola. When I started racing there, it was almost the best it felt, and then we started to struggle more and more, but they really helped me to keep the pace up and to find the problems I was having to drive the car. It felt tricky at times, and they have been very helpful to make me feel better.
Esteban, good to see you. Arriving here off the back of some points in Mexico. How are you feeling about your chances of repeating that this weekend? And also you've got that special helmet design, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's always very special to be racing in Brazil. I got so much love and so much support, from all the Brazilian fans, and obviously, super happy to be wearing this helmet. It was a big competition online, on my social media, for everyone, to showcase their creativity and they love, for the country. And, it was really, really hard to choose one design. There was thousands and thousands of designs, but we were glad to be choosing Fernanda's design. So I'm looking forward to be wearing it this weekend. And obviously great memories from last year. And looking forward to be driving on this beautiful track again.
Ready for the challenge of another sprint weekend, and as always here, rain is a possibility, isn't it? So
it is, but we will take it as it goes. If it rains, it rains. If it's dry, it's dry. But we will do the best we can. We come from a very strong last race where the car was performing super well, and I hope that we can perform the same here.
I'm from Brazil, so I want to ask you, where come this idea to make a special livery from Brazil, and how you choose this one specifically?
Yes, so obviously, I got so much love in Brazil every time, I come here. It's an incredible atmosphere. I love it. It's everybody breathes Formula One. Everybody is waiting for that event, to come in the year, and the passion lives. The song of Senna, when we're on the grid, it's things that gives you goosebumps, every year that I come here, and I wanted to do something special, for this year, and I made this competition online where you could submit a design, and there was so many awesome designs. It was very, very hard to choose, thousands and thousands of designs, really, really cool ones. But we chose Fernanda's one. And she will be here this weekend also, and I can't wait to showcase the beauty that she's done on track here. I think it really highlights the beauty of Brazil, and I'm really happy and proud to wear it.